So we have to look at the culprit. Like, what is the problem that we're trying to counterbalance or counteract when we talk about boosting our levels of resilience? And it really is the difference between good stress and bad stress. Not all stress is bad. In fact, good stress is the type of stress that tunes you up. They call it the pressure that makes championship teams. Dispatchers have need for lots of input. You probably have challenges sitting still on your off days because you're so keyed up. That's good stress. Your senses are tuned, you're heightened, you're ready to attack, right? How's that when you want to relax and read a book? I was doing a class in Memphis, Tennessee, and on the eval sheet, this 30-year dispatcher, she wrote, "I found out 2 weeks ago why I needed this class." It was a de-stress class. And then she wrote an arrow to the back of the page. And she told me this story. She said, I was on vacation. It was a beautiful spring day in Memphis, and I had been looking forward to reading my book. And I had my hammock in my backyard, and I had my slow brewed iced tea, and I got my feet up in the hammock, and I got my book open. And I was so angry because I could not sit still. She went and did housework. Ever feel that? Yeah. So even in a good stress situation, when it tunes us up, if we don't unplug from the stress response, we move over into bad or chronic stress. In this graphic here shows us what's really going on. You can see on one axis we have performance. On the other axis we have stress level. To a point, our performance increases. But without mitigating the effects of the activated stress response, we soon push ourselves over into fatigue, exhaustion, anxiety, panic, anger, burnout. Anyone experience burnout in your dispatch career? It's an epidemic. Yeah. And it's this chronic production of the stress hormones, the always on of the stress response, that starts to turn into these effects of stress. And you can see from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, your body is responding to the overproduction of cortisol and adrenaline, these stress hormones. And we literally overdose on the very response that is designed to keep the body safe, to protect us from harm. Looking at this list of effects of stress, which are the symptoms of chronic stress, which do you see in your own life? Several studies in 911 have shown that this job takes a toll. We have increased levels of depression in our dispatch centers. We have increased levels of morbid obesity, 50% higher than the general population. We have increased levels of the effects of PTSD. A recent study found that the prevalence rate of PTSD in 911 is higher than cops on the street. Oh, but we just take phone calls. We're just sitting at the other end of the headset. The research shows that because we are empathetic caregivers, it doesn't matter if we hear something that's happening, those critical incidents, or if we're witnessing it, it has the same effect.